Hello everyone, welcome to the 100 Q&A practice. I'm going to be reading to you from direct examination which is the plaintiff questioning. You're going to hear interlocutory decree of dissolution of marriage. Now there is a brief for interlocutory. It's TROK, T-R-O-K. So at least you have a brief for interlocutory. So you may want to write that down. And then you're going to hear, let's see here, petition, which I write P-E-G-S, petition. Let's see, furniture, separation, distribution, administrative, redundant, trustee, preliminary, which you can write as P-L-I-M, plim, remittance. Okay, again, plaintiff attorney is going to be questioning. Ready? The interlocutory decree of dissolution of marriage contains a statement that to equalize the distribution of furniture that you were to be paid $5,000 by Mrs. Sherman. Did you ever receive $5,000 from Mrs. Sherman, the former Mrs. Sherman? I am trying to remember. Let me refresh your memory. The interlocutory decree of dissolution of marriage contains language which states that to equalize the division of the furniture and furnishings, your former wife was to pay you the sum of $5,000. Have you ever received a payment for remittance or payment in any form from your former wife in the amount of $5,000? I can answer the second question. I only asked one question. Maybe I'm confusing you. No, I didn't receive any money. You never received any money? I never got the $5,000. Now, I asked you in preparation for your testimony today to prepare a list of items which you feel, if you received them, would equalize the division of property. Do you recall my asking you to prepare that list? Yes, I do. And I'm going to show you a list. I've previously furnished a list to counsel that you have prepared in your own handwriting, and I show you this list. Dr. Sherman, if you receive the items on that list, in addition to those items which you have already received, would you be content with the division of furniture and furnishings? Yes, I would. I would ask that this list be admitted as Exhibit D, Your Honor. Any objection? No objection. It will be received in evidence as Exhibit D. Will you hand that to me, please? Thank you. Proceed, Mrs. Delaney. Dr. Sherman, you further requested in your moving papers that certain bank accounts which existed on the date of separation, which were not divided in the interlocutory judgment of dissolution of marriage, be divided at this time. Is that correct? That's correct. Your Honor, I would like to furnish the court with a variety of bank records from First Federal Savings and Loan in Flagstaff, Arizona, which I would ask be admitted into evidence. They've been set in sealed envelopes, and both counsel have examined the records. Any objection? No objection, Your Honor. They will be received as Exhibit E and so marked. Let the court see it, Mr. Clerk. So received. Dr. Sherman, you separated from your wife, Carolyn Sherman, in March of 2014. Is that correct? That's correct. Your former wife's petition alleges March 4 of 2014. Is that correct? I believe that's correct. The records before the court indicate that there was on March 4 of 2014 an account with First Federal Savings number 9-5307-51 existing on that date in the amount of $40,599.14. Did you, at that time, have any knowledge of the existence of that account? I don't recall having any knowledge of that account. First Federal Savings also had an account which on March 4 of 2014, number 9-5306-85, had an approximate amount of $70,861.75. Just a moment. Give the numbers again, please. Sure. 9-5306-85. All right, proceed. Now then, you had an account at First Federal Savings with you and Carolyn, which was an account for your daughter, Mia. Is that correct? Was the approximate amount of the account $70,000 at the time you separated? No, Carolyn had the account. She was the trustee for Mia's account. I'm not on that. Okay, but you were aware of that account? Oh, yes. Is it your request, Dr. Sherman, that the property be divided equally? That's my request. Dr. Sherman, you make a further request that the value that was originally placed on your medical practice be reduced because of administrative proceedings which resulted in your repaying some medical overcharges and attorney's fees which you incurred as a result of those proceedings. Now, for preliminary purposes, I was not your attorney in those proceedings. Is that correct? That's correct. And you have alleged that you had to repay Anthem $30,000 2 years prior to your separation. That's correct. What year were you required to repay Anthem for? 2008. And have you, in fact, repaid them that amount? Yes, I have. In resolving those claims and going through the administrative hearings that resulted in that amount being assessed against you, did you incur attorney's fees? Yes, I did. Who was the attorney that represented you? Gerald A. Bishop. Do you have any objection? I think it's redundant. Go ahead. Okay, we will switch transcripts here. Going back to the previous transcript that we've been working on with the boy that got bit by the dog. And this is going to be defense. And then you never looked back again, right? No, that's not true. You did look back again? No, I didn't look back. Okay, when you came back out of the house, did you go back into the garage the same way you went into the house through the same door? Yeah. Did you know the dog was gone before you opened the door from the house to go back out into the garage? No. Did you check before you went into the garage from the house? Yeah. How did you do that? When I opened the door, I went outside. I leaned this way to see if the dog was still there, and it was gone, and Daniel was just now hopping into the garage crying. Was he actually inside the garage when you first saw him after you opened the door from the inside of the house, looking out into the garage? Yeah. How far into the garage was he? Just barely, like 3 feet or 2. Did he say anything to you at all? No. What was he doing when he was hopping? Just hopping and crying. Anything else? No, just saying my leg is hurt. It is bit. Stuff like that. He said my leg was hurting. He said my leg hurts. Hurry, my leg hurts. Did he say anything else to you as he hopped towards you and you opened the door for him to go into the house? No. Was he crying at all? Oh, yes. Were you crying at all during that time? Oh, yes. When you were in the garage before you went back into the house, you were crying? Yes. That's while he was hopping in the garage? Yes. Do you know why you were crying? I was scared. When did you first start to cry? When I came into the house. When you went into the house the first time? Yes. I'm sorry. When you ran into the house after you turned your back on the dog and your brother? Yes. Okay, and that concludes our Q&A practice for the 100 class. Have a great day.